And I don't think that people really consider
How much destruction there is in the world. How many people do you think are happy and how many people do you think aren't?
The education system is lagging behind on this.
Physics, because there was a study by MIT which was saying like it lowers down the
Lowers IQ
cognitive.
level,
Yeah.
the dangers are abdicating your own existence to a machine.
I can't believe humans can do this. Like,
If the task can be done using AI, it's not your problem, it's the task's problem.
So we've come up with a list of 4 questions. And let's start with the first. Arsha, do you want to introduce
Yeah, so first of all, before starting this, let's introduce ourselves.
Cool.
Ismail, please.
Let me just move this a bit. So, my name is Ismail Ryabchuk. I am the co-founder of Memphis, and I'm studying the Integrated Masters Computer Science with AI here at Southampton. And yeah, I've been interested in AI for quite a while, ever since it came out. And my main focus really at the moment is AI workflows, using them to automate stuff in your life, and what should you automate, as well as on the side of sort of startups, how can you use AI to accelerate the development of your startup and rapid prototyping and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, that's great. And then we have Julian.
My name is Julian Siemens. I'm here studying at Southampton, a foundation engineering year. I come from a bit of a convoluted background. I was working in law previously, so I've come as a mature student, but really interested in respecializing in and around the space industry. That is my chief focus. Here, though, I've come onto the podcast with a deep interest in the ethics behind AI and how we move forward as a species and civilization, adopting what is an immensely powerful tool. Yeah.
That's great. Daniel?
yeah, my name is Daniel Prickett. I'm currently studying philosophy. It's my first year. And I first got really interested in AI when it exploded last year. I normally look into, I was looking into organic intelligence, and I found there are some roadblocks there. It's really interesting. And when I saw artificial intelligence, it's just another way for us as humans to, potentially flourish, hopefully, with it. Yeah. So like Julian, I will be looking through the lens of ethics.
Okay, that's great. And then I'm Arshia, and I have a background in medicine in KCL. Now I'm doing engineering foundation year. Mostly curious about quantum and AI and the business side as well. So we're going to start with the first question. Yeah.
Cool.
So the first question is, how are individuals able to ride the coming wave of tech, and how do we people aren't ready for it? Let's start with Julian.
How do we ride the coming wave? I think it's key, above all, that we maintain an attitude of transparency first. We have a lot of information shoved at us at all times. The overload of data that we process on a day-to-day. I think there was a study done recently that technologically capable humans ingest at least 100 gigabytes a day. Across all mediums, film, text, and then the audible mediums, radio, podcasts, music. They compared that, though, to intellectuals of bygone eras and the data that they would have processed over their entire lifespan being similar in value to what we process now day to day. With that comes a lot of noise. And I don't think that people really consider where we're heading. I don't think the vast majority of people do anyways, unless you're in the technology.
But should we focus on that? Like, should we focus on the future or the current state that we're in? Like, what would be the priority at a time?
We need to focus on development,
Yeah.
right? Iterative development of these tools. But whilst doing that, we can't just focus, we can't tunnel vision on something that we don't fully understand yet. We need to take a holistic view. Recent advances have meant that in the States we're seeing more semis, the trucking industry, being fully automated. To put this into perspective, the trucking industry in the States is one of the largest employers. 10% of Americans work for the trucking industry. So the minute we start talking about like AI within these automated trucks, because this is how it's working. These are super advanced neural networks that have been trained to drive these vehicles. The Tesla Semi is obviously one example amongst many. But that is 10% of the population that will be cut from employment. Obviously, that's slightly too arbitrary because not all 10% are truck drivers, I believe, but most of them are. So I think we need to consider how these technologies are going to affect, I think, the smallest first, and then also upscale that to broader questions about reality. Because, of course, with generative AI generating the information that it does now, especially with the considering deep fakes, talk of, and we've spoken about this before, but digital identification as a means to authenticate and verify. Okay, it's a great solution, but what are the problems that come alongside? We need to be very careful, I think, when it comes to verifying information. And I think, just to finish before I let Ismail get on this one, above all else, people use the expression touch grass. But as we move into an ever more diverse and gigantic dataverse and digital universe that encompasses our work lives, we need to start really standing for what is real, what is reality. We need to start stepping away and spending more time actually living in the real world and not being consumed by our own tools.
So Ismail, I really want to get the idea of the business side because you're a startup founder. How should we allocate the resources for like directing this wave of technology in the next 3 to 5 years? And also give me your perspective on what are the main technical things, because you mentioned vibe codings. Like, how real is this technology that can help us to democratize information among those who are not even technologists?
So I think I'll start off with I'd say the current view of people at the moment. I'd say the majority of people, not that we're not at the point a year or two back where people aren't aware AI is a thing, but we're at the point where some people are aware it's a thing. But just,
is it a thing?
I think it depends how you view it, right? Because a lot of people see AI as, it's, AI, that guy used AI to get his answers for his test. Or that guy wrote his dissertation all with AI, right? I think a lot of people see it as the chuck it off and do it all tool, right?
Using AI as a low purpose task.
I think a lot of people do think of it as like a replacement for them in a sense in terms of just doing the stuff that they need to do. I'm not necessarily talking about admin. The major problem at the moment is people think, AI, it's like it can just, it's going to take everything from me.
So you don't think it's going to like fully replace humans, at least in the next decades, or do you believe it?
I don't think so. I think it depends how you view it, right? Because if you see, for example, in institutions for education at the moment, there's not really an inclination to integrate it into the curriculum or anything else because they're scared of it, right? The major problem is, they see this these big corporations offering access to these large language models that can literally just produce a lot of what you want, right?
Yeah.
And they don't know how to sort of like integrate that into what they're teaching, right? So a lot of them are just complete bandits, like the calculators, like no AI, no this, right? It's like, well, we're in the age, we are coming to the age of AI, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't students know how to use AI? And I think that's the major problem at the moment in terms of the education side, because the schools are refusing to integrate it, we have a major problem of asymmetric information, where a lot of people still don't know how to use AI properly. Prompt engineering.
So what would be the effect of denying the current technology instead of just accepting it and adapting yourself, or like the students, to that, to use it as a leverage to actually be more efficient?
So in terms of the education side,
Yeah.
I've spent a lot of time these past few months developing workflows that I use for studies. And if I'm being honest with you, I think the people that don't stand up, try and adopt AI in any shape or form are going to get left behind. It's just a given fact. Anyone who doesn't, like a person who can use AI and is experienced is of higher value than some guy who has the same experience but can't use AI. You'll get replaced not by AI. I'm saying in the first instance, right? We don't know what's going to happen in 30, 40 years in terms of what AI is capable of. But in the current sense, you have people with AI, and those with AI are going to replace the people who don't have AI. That's where we're at the moment. We're at the point where if you've got a guy for a job, it's like, oh yeah, I can write content.
Yeah.
I can write content for your post. And the other guy's like, I can write all the content for your post, but faster and better, and I can automate the process for you. And because I have experience, I can then review it. It's like, well, one guy can produce 10 posts a day, the other guy can produce 100 posts and review them.
So
right?
As we are talking about like human replacement, I really want to know your perspective on this. Do you not in short term, but long term, do you value like human consciousness and human beings like as a species uniquely unreplaceable in a long term with AI or any kind of tech or not?
Yeah, it's not an easy question.
For sure,
because
yeah, that's $1 million question.
It's like a trillion. It's actually a priceless question
Yeah.
as of now, because with the many things that AI is tackling, we actually don't have much. We don't actually have a secure grasp of what we're actually doing. I mean, maybe it's just the philosopher inside me, but we don't actually know what intelligence is. We don't actually know what consciousness is. We could always look at, going back to your question with whether human consciousness or how should we value this, we could always look at this through different frameworks. Like you could be nihilistic, you could be pessimistic or optimistic. We could just think even human consciousness is actually just, it's a misery. Like it should just be ended. That's what people think. It's kind of, it's horrible. But then we could also say like human or any consciousness is the best thing ever to exist. And it's 2, 3 really hard, like impossible miracles have happened, like the Big Bang, and then the I'm not too sure what it was, something like the single cell organism sort of came to be. Do you know about this?
No, I know what you're referring to. I won't be able to have the term, but
Yeah, it's
even past that single cell, like the idea of consciousness, you see intelligent animals, but you don't see anything so far on Earth remotely similar to what we've done.
Yeah, it's so
are we unique enough to be irreplaceable in a long run, or should we expand our consciousness? Like, is the unique thing or not? You can look at it as as an optimistic person and a pessimistic person. You can play the pessimistic one. Julian can play the optimistic one, because I know he wants to expand the consciousness through space industry, which is great. Yeah.
to look at it.
Yeah, look at it as like someone's pessimistic. regarding expanding the
So
consciousness?
I'll bring out the number one pessimist. It'll be Schopenhauer. And pretty much he says, in a nutshell, like no amount of pleasure or fulfillment or whatever positive emotion that you feel would override the suffering that we have in the world. So just a little bit of suffering or a few events of suffering, let's say 2 weeks of suffering can't even compete against a lifetime of flourishing. Just because we have that suffering, consciousness is almost condemned. So why should we even go out and expand it? Yeah. Like, look how much destruction there is in the world. How many people do you think are happy and how many people do you think aren't? And so we can't even grasp what happiness really is. So why should we're all struggling. Someone wants to pay rent, someone's close family member just died. There's also a love quote that someone told me. It was like, we all know, like, all love or all happiness ends, right? It's about what you make about it in the middle. It's about what you make of it in the middle. So
and even in the moments where they're bringing great joy, great pleasure, whatever it is, you're constantly terrified of that end coming. It's always sitting in the back of your mind that whether or not it's the natural end of things, death, or any of the other myriad of betrayals or treasons that could lead to the end of such a happy moment. Like, there is
what's the optimistic angle?
That's what I'm interested.
Because it's fairly rational to look at humanity and say we make the same mistakes. We really are the authors of our own destruction, it seems.
Our track record of that.
We have a good one. The optimist's side of things, I guess this comes from a framework which ties innate value to human consciousness and the human mind, which is wholly unique. We build these incredible tales to justify our existence. I say we build tales. We explore. We look for the truth, and somehow, even despite all the suffering that we've encountered, we push forwards, because it would be very easy to turn around and say, right, I'm done with this. And sadly, we are seeing solutions to life be presented across Europe, across the Western world. Canada's made Denmark's assisted suicide, and we're voting on assisted suicide in the UK at the moment. Why though should humanity continue? I think
it's not easy. It's not easy.
It's not easy, and it works on the understanding that there is an objective value, which I think I'm particularly skewed on because I'm a Catholic. And turning around in that frame of reference, this idea that you have an innate dignity, why would we not want to share that? And even past like the suffering and the pain, why would you not want to share the immense beauty that we have created with generations to come? I say generations to come, even amongst the stars. If we can get there, if we figure it out, if we don't destroy ourselves first, the idea that there are other people out there, or I say other people, other beings with consciousness, which seems more likely than not. Being able to interact, being able to explore and marvel at the natural order of things.
That's fascinating.
Well,
for sure.
I just want to add to that. So I think obviously as humans, we're curious, right?
Yeah.
And I think if it was the question of, well, if there's like so much suffering in the world, do we just like stop and we'll just end ourselves or something, right? As a Muslim, it's like, if you take it in the religious sense, we're here to worship God, and we're here to spread the religion and be khalifs on this earth, which is like stewardships, right? Like we protect the earth, we sustain it, whatnot. And I think the key thing that I sort of take from this is, well, everyone has their lives. We have suffering in our lives, but who's to say that we don't want to keep striving to improve our condition, right? Because we all started somewhere.
Yeah.
If we didn't want to sort of, like, I think the main driver where we're going at the moment is like, everything we do is just get stuff done better, improve this situation, improve that situation, right? Our whole sort of progression of where we're going is like, well, either I need more land or I need more resources or I need a new technique. It's like we're always striving to minimize the suffering, right?
Is that the main goal? We're optimistic?
I think...
Or should be the main goal for optimism?
I think the main goal should be striving for innovation.
Yeah.
Right? I think that if we take that into account instead of... So not to say that we shouldn't be striving for money in the sort of society that we're in, right? Most of society is capitalist, right?
Yeah, and we need resources to do innovation.
And the capitalist sort of way to structure an economy proves to be the best way, right? But I do think that with the capitalism, we should also have in mind, like, look, we're going in a certain direction.
Yeah.
That's the direction that we should go. Like, who said, like, and I think a lot of the reason why we aren't stopping is because it's like, well, yeah, you can stop. I'm going to go make money real quick, right? Yeah. Or I'm going to go develop this new thing which will make me money or will help my, whatever friend or whatever problem you had in your life, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of businesses and everything come from us trying to solve our own problems. So I think we should head in the direction of innovation, but I think we're sort of in like a murky water where the money and the innovation is sort of going like this. So, you see like OpenAI with their alignment team and everything. It's like, well, shouldn't we have that still? Like, why is it going? Or why are we not considering the fact that like we are developing this AI, but we need to sort of maintain it and safeguard it?
I mean, at the same time, we have to know why we are optimistic. Like, we have to know the reason behind optimism. And I think the most beautiful reason is just being curious about the tech or the innovation itself. Because when you're curious, you don't care about resources. You get the resources and the funding if you just keep going and go for the innovation. But at the same time, regarding the alignments that we should like safeguard the AI, I mean, humans are not aligned together. How can we align another, which I don't say tool, I say like a synthetic inorganic being, aligned with us? We can't even align ourselves like as a species. Like, how are we going to do that? Or like, what would be the boundaries we are setting for the AI? And at the same time, it's like we're hindering the innovation as well. So if we want to come to the ethical values, what do you think is the line we have to say, okay, that's it?
Before
And we don't want to hinder the innovation as well.
Yeah. Before we touch on the alignment problem, I'd like to say, so Julian said two really important E words.
E words?
Yeah. So first we have exploration, which is vital. Like Ismail said, it's so fun to explore. I think that is probably the peak of my like fun memories. Think about it, like we explore, we study, or we create. It's a form of exploration. It would fall under that. And that also falls into experience. Yeah. And like that's a second E word. And Julian said, there is an innateness in the value of experience. And I suppose that seems plausible.
And I guess on top of what we're saying, the idea that a nihilist would take their position and evaluate it to be, I'm sorry, we are kind of backtracking a little bit, but the idea that you could take your situation and believe that you had come to a objective and complete evaluation of your own situation and had deemed it without meaning, without value, and past how unfortunate you would be in that position. There's also an arrogance about it. And I say that because we are proving daily that we know so little, that there is so much knowledge out there to be explored, to be understood. There's
sure.
so much that we don't presently understand, that to evaluate your present position and say that I know, I'm confident that I have no value here and that my situation will not improve, past the agreement that I think we could all have that suffering and death are really the only guarantees in life. Past that, the idea that you have no value when actually daily we're proving that our assumptions made yesterday were incorrect. That there's a level of arrogance and a lack of humility, dare I say it, that I think like we have value past any religious consideration, because I do think that there is logic and rationality behind religion, but moving past, well, we could get onto that, but I feel like next episode controversial. Don't do that. Rationality. But it's as we discussed in the gym that one day. If you aren't asking questions,
what are you doing?
Exactly. Like
you have to ask questions.
If you are part of any cult, like if you look at your religion as a bit of a cult or a political group, or I mean, the nihilistic view is quite cultish in many ways, because I mean, there's almost a worshipping of this nothingness, of this blackness.
So
when actually, like as Ismail said, there's a real value behind curiosity,
For sure.
and actually like our search for that objectivity, for that order, for that line which kind of unifies and provides cohesion to our universe. That search alone.
Like being optimistic for the sake of innovation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Innovation, but I think like past innovation, if we use what we build for actually the search for meaning, which I think underpins everything that we do. Deep down, like, yeah, money's a tool and innovation is super important to minimize suffering, to protect ourselves really, and to feed ourselves. But at the center of things, how can you live if you aren't turning around and asking yourself, what is this about? What am I doing?
Yeah, a man's or a person's intellect isn't defined by the answers that they give, but by the questions that they ask.
Well,
That's a golden one.
well
I think
said.
that's a good point to just wrap up on the first question and proceed to the next one, which is, how does the modern rise in censorship, this is a good one, affect the training of LLMs, and how will it both affect culture and our ability to grow as a civilization? Julian.
Yes. Well, I was
You're
the
the one
raise this.
who always brings, you're the one who always brings the censorship problem and the biased data. And you had experience in, I think, data management, right?
Yeah, data protection.
Data protection. So I think it's good to start with you here.
Well, the skeptic verging on the cynic. But yeah, I raised this question having done a bit of research into AI. I say a bit because, frankly, I'm surrounded by Arsha and Ismail, who would put me to shame. But the idea, well, whilst I was working in data protection, amongst the kind of compliance work and policy work that I was doing, there was a lot of horizon scanning going on. And I remember when ChatGPT, what was the first iteration? Was it like
2 was the public one?
2 or something?
2, I guess, yeah.
2.
I
You could
remember.
buy 2, I remember.
2.5.
Oh, right, okay.
Maybe
Which was the free public release?
I remember that you could go on 2, you
Yeah.
could chat with it, and then you can also buy an instance of it from OpenAI.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh my
So
God,
my
it's
dad
been a
did it.
long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so this, I think I recalled messing around with it back when I was still at King studying philosophy.
Yeah.
And the answers to the questions, because you could bypass some of the restrictions by telling it to pretend to be something other than what it was. And it was brilliant because it would then pretend to be a human rather than a robot, or you provide a prompt which bypassed the restrictions, and then asking it questions which were very controversial. And seeing these answers provided showed that actually it had been trained on a lot of data which had been unfiltered. Like, that was very evident because there were thoughts that this machine was regurgitating at the time that were not societally not accepted, right?
Yeah.
And this comes down to kind of like the Overton window, the idea of like kind of accepted political and social norms.
Side effects of Reddit.
Yeah, exactly. Side effects of Reddit. But the question here, and this really is, I think, a question for those of you who are more versed in AI. We have seen since COVID a real explosion in the content moderation market, something like 104% increase in businesses and their value. Further to that, we're seeing privacy shields being spoken of by von der Leyen of the European Parliament. We're seeing the Digital Safety Bill, which has been passed here in the UK, the Online Safety Act, which was meant to be a supplement to the GDPR of 2016.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of data legislation be pushed through now with the Digital ID bill as this is coming up. And in the States, we're also seeing a lot of discussion around bills which do infringe on freedom of speech. For the sake of protecting certain people from perhaps reprisals and from offense, there's a question here about a balance between negative and positive liberty, right? Freedom to and freedom from.
Yeah.
How freedom from can make you safer, but how freedom to can give you more liberty. Like, where is that line that we draw? In relation to AIs, though, I've always been a little bit of an idealist, as you know, with these machines.
Yeah.
I would love to see a machine where you don't need to train it on safe data because you have built algorithms so excellently that it can do the cutting through the noise itself. You can feed it the unfiltered data that we generate, and it can decipher and kind of figure out what's going on
So
by a
that's-
first principle reasoning. Now, my concern, and hopefully both your experience will be able to contextualize this a little bit further, but my concern is the rise in censorship now risks training large language models and AI generally on data which has been filtered for its safety by people who purport to be arbiters of truth, when we know very well that we are both immensely fallible
Yeah.
and also very easily manipulated. How will training a machine on poor and censored data affect its output and its value to society?
So at the same time, Grok, like Elon and Grok with XAI and Grok are claiming that they are training Grok in real data. I think they have like a collaboration with Polymarket as well. So they can just take real data. They announced a collaboration with Palantir as well.
Oh, yeah.
Which is interesting one.
Interesting.
But
Well, I wonder what that's for.
yeah, I mean, Palantir needs the algorithm, and Elon can take the data, so they're good. That's a good collaboration financially.
And they're quite close. They're
Yeah.
quite close as well. This is,
I mean, yeah, I think that's an interesting collaboration. But to just stay at the topic, I guess Grok is kind of woke. Have you used Grok?
I haven't used much of it, but I've heard it's
Grok, the last generation was better, but now I don't think it's kind of like based on first principle reasoning.
No, I would completely agree with that.
Yeah, it's kind of different. Even GPT-5, I guess, was a failure. I don't know if the problem is with the data, but the only company that actually cares about the quality of data is Meta, because they acquired the Scale AI, which the whole business model is like regarding the data and the quality of data.
Yeah.
They acquired it like for $14 billion, I guess, which
pretty
was
cheap.
yeah. I mean, for the like he's
I
just
think
Well,
the,
for the tech, yeah.
the quite
Yeah.
interesting thing, which probably caused more people to think it's a bubble, which
Yeah.
we'll probably talk about later on.
yeah. I think it's the last question.
Is the
yeah.
academic research sort of hiring researchers like footballers, you know?
Mhm.
250 million initial check. It's like people pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, carry on.
Yeah, but I mean, like, why do we even need to like filter the data? You can give me like your perspective as the technical side. What is this like filtering the data? Is it because Julian mentioned that the algorithm is the problem, so the architecture is not able to like do the noise cutting itself. That's why we need to do that. Is that the case, or what do you think?
So, as of now, I don't have much in the sense of the architecture, but I can say that, like, you know, as humanity, we are biased.
Yeah.
You know?
So the data itself, the data that is available is just biased data because the authors have different opinion when they were
I think it's
providing
like
this data.
if you see image generation, for example, right?
Yeah.
If you put, I think this was controversial this month, or even before this. If you put doctor,
Mm-hmm.
it will most likely put a male doctor. If you put any profession, you'll kind of see that like the majority of representations are Western Americans or Western English or whatever
Yeah.
Caucasian
The
sort of thing,
weird,
right?
the
Yeah.
weird people. No. It's an acronym. If I remember, it's Western.
European. That's probably not right.
Weird. Western educated, industrialized, rich and democratic.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's- They've
Nice.
changed it now. So if you see now, I don't know, I don't remember necessarily when they changed it, but there was
Yeah.
there was sort of a period where if you produced it, it was like, wait, I'm only getting weird people.
Yeah.
And then they changed it, like there was a secret update where it's like, oh well, now it's like it makes sure to alternate the race so that you don't see the bias, right?
Yeah.
Which is a bit, I'd say, depending on what it is a bit problematic. But in terms of the data side, it depends how we view it, right? It's like Google, when one of their models came out, it was just like absolute rubbish in the
Yeah.
sense of like it was saying, yeah, put sausages with ice cream or whatever it was. And it's like they realized that a lot of the sort of garbage data was like, well, these like threads of people talking about random stuff or whatever it was. It's a key example, for example, is said that twice. We had a hackathon.
Yeah.
And in the hackathon, they trained an AI specifically on Reddit for insulting.
Mm-hmm.
And it would give the most outrageous,
Wow.
like there was no filter, right? It
Yeah.
would give the most outrageous comments. And it's that type of thing where like, yes, there's a ton of data we have. Yes, we could filter it. But how long would it take us to filter that data? We've got everyone's sort of viewpoints on it. I think, yes, we should filter it.
But at this
how?
point, I don't think timing is the problem that we have. I mean,
I think it's more so that it's not in their first priority. I think a lot of companies at the moment, they will try and get decent data,
yeah.
but they're also competing against their competitors. And if their competitors decide not to
That's
filter
the
as
point.
much,
They just want to compete and take the
Yeah.
market share. They don't want to innovate, like do something with the architecture or maybe the data side. They just want to compete and be relevant. So they're more like in a product side rather than the innovation itself, which makes
say
us
it's a
raise the
problem.
question of maybe it's a bubble.
you know, I'd say it depends. Like I said, I think with this topic and like a lot of other topics, it's all about perspective, right?
Yeah.
I think there are some companies that are doing it differently.
Take OpenAI, for
Take-
instance. What do you think? The business side is just the product. Like they're going to be IPO in the next year.
They are trying. I've seen these past 2 months. They're trying to spread out. You see with the agents and everything else they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yes, the only product is AI, and that is kind of their problem. But when you come to look at it in terms of the AI bubble, it's the people that don't have that main product that are gonna pop. Because if you're using OpenAI as your wrapper,
Yeah.
right? If OpenAI loses whatever happens in the bubble, right? If they're like, oh well, AI, like OpenAI, could just produce your products because they need to, because AI is not enough or whatever it is, right? Then the guy that just spent whatever, there's like a lot of stories if you've seen it. It's like they spent 3 months building this wrap-up project, and then it's OpenAI says, "Oh, we just built this," and then the guy's like, "I just raised 3 million."
Yeah.
It's that type of thing.
That happened when VO3 from Google came out as well.
Yeah.
A lot of startups were like, okay, then that's it. Yeah.
It's quite interesting, actually. I'm not too sure how we would filter the data and if they're willing to filter the data and how much they're already doing.
So you've stated, though, that humans are biased.
Yeah.
Like, we are, as a species, we have our opinions.
Yeah.
And I think we would all agree that our minds are difficult to change most of the time. It takes a deal of humility to speak with someone and realize, oh, yeah, I was wrong.
Yeah.
It's important, an important growth that I think we need to be speaking more about, the importance of humility, especially within academia. But
That's a whole topic.
oh yeah. But when it comes to filtering the data, so if we are biased, then necessarily the filtering too will be biased.
Yeah.
Now, would not the best course of action be to take all the data we have and go contextualize it and say, this is data created by humans, which are, fallible objects, give a machine understanding of first principles and tell it to sort fact from fiction. Because otherwise we risk giving it a very tainted version of our reality. I mean, reality as we understand it is kind of one big syntax. It's one big language. It's one big order. So to take some of the language out, because that's dangerous, that's mean language. We shouldn't be feeding it rubbish or fiction or, an opinion perhaps, which is unacceptable. We're actually taking some of the syntax which makes our reality real away from its consideration and giving it naturally skewed outputs. How do you think that we could filter it without necessarily skewing the machine's perception of our reality?
I'm not too sure we're at the point where the AI can do the job itself.
No.
I'm not too sure if that's where we're heading.
Should it be, though? Is the purpose... I guess this really breaks down to what is the purpose of an artificial general intelligence, an AGI. I mean, you have said an inorganic consciousness, an inorganic life form. What is the purpose of developing what would necessarily be a competing species?
Yeah, so the purpose would be having another species that can answer questions that we can't.
So knowledge.
Yes, so knowledge is the case. But at the same time, to a question that you said, like, if are we actually going in that direction? We should, like, XAI is trying to do like first principle reasoning, but at the same time, it's not easy because first principle means you need a lot of computation, and it's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be easy. At the same time, that's why I always say quantum.
Yes.
Because we need computation.
Why? So you mentioned quantum a lot, right?
Yeah.
Even in our talks,
Every
it's like every
second.
single thing is quantum, right?
Yes.
How would we use, like, by quantum, do you mean the computation will help us, or is there any other aspects of quantum that will help us solve this?
So
sort of
quantum
dilemma?
and AI are kind of complementary. So the AI algorithms can accelerate the quantum hardware development. At a time, quantum can provide the computation side for first principle reasoning. So we should like develop both, but at a time, most people are skeptical about quantum and they say like it's 20 to 30 years away. I think you attended Quantum Week in London last week. So how did it go?
Of course.
Were they optimistic about quantum, or?
Of course they're optimistic. They were mainly optimistic. The audience was pretty. They were really questioning it. Of course, I would, because I'm not in physics or quantum physics. So even being there, it's mind blowing and trying to grapple with all of their theories and things like that. From what I can see, maybe quantum computing could be here in the next 5 years, 10 years, right? Let's say the next decade.
Yeah.
If it's here, that's one problem. The next problem is the integration into useful
The
technology.
application of quantum.
Because one of them was talking, she works in River Lane, and we were all really astonished with her saying it can like try and calculate black holes and stuff like that. Like, wow, humans can do that? I was literally looking at the graphs like, I can't believe humans can do this. Like one of the things is a quantum and an atomic clock. So the accuracy by which this clock can tell time is stupendous. It's like to the fifth decimal of time,
Right,
and they
okay.
said it's not even telling time; it's now telling gravity. Like,
Oh, right. Because I was going to say atomic clocks already exist.
yeah, they already exist.
But
So
this would be like a simulated?
no, I mean just like developing that atomic clock. I mean, that's like one quantum technology, and then it can go into other things like
Right.
they were saying like satellites, measuring the gravitational pull, so then we can predict other things like maybe
Yeah, okay.
weather. And so then you can see some sort of like integrations into industry, but other things like that same computer that we're trying to quantify black holes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, how's that going to help with the economy? Maybe like the compute is
Yeah.
there, but with the alignment, it's not really there yet. But there's so much potential, and there is a lot of funding coming in.
Yeah, I think UK is leading the quantum.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, in
Okay.
funding. Yeah.
Before we move on,
Yeah.
I am interested to hear Daniel's take on the filtering of information.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I guess at the end of the day, it's the stratified nature of knowledge these days.
So, in terms of filtering and censorship, we're looking at. So there's a lot of harm. ChatGPT, OpenAI is getting like sued because it's helped people write suicide notes, stuff like that. So, and like really checking if the data is good or whatever. I mean, that really comes down to what creates harm.
Yeah.
So we need to first quantify and really define what that looks like in every possible way, because if we're giving it AI like all of these bits of information, it can essentially, not really, people would dispute this, but like it can create different patterns, new patterns in a way, and then it could create new ways of harm. It could write a suicide letter that no one has ever written before, something like that from its data. So yeah, your take of maybe getting an algorithm that could do that is really helpful. And I think it's actually it will be so much better than us, because maybe what comes to mind is the thing that makes us biased is our, again, experience and our emotions tied to that experience. What does AI have? None of that.
Well,
Not yet.
but it does.
Not yet.
But it does kind of have
Wait,
our
sorry, could you repeat that?
experience.
Repeat what you go on.
No, I was just like you said. It doesn't have our emotions and doesn't have our experience, and you're right. It doesn't have our emotions, but it does have. We're pretty good at chronicling our collective. And don't get me wrong, the victor tells the tale when it comes to history. So realistically, this isn't a high resolution version of our experience, but it gives the machine an idea of, I think, at the end of the day, the root of our ability to cause great evil. I mean, even if you were to give one of these bots like Christopher Browning's Ordinary Men, the idea that humans are able to commit atrocities that we can't even comprehend at the moment. If you were to give it that context alongside all the other information, I mean, again, I'm speaking wholly as an idealist here, right? I'm not even sure if this is possible where we are. Maybe quantum will help usher this type of algorithm in. But if you could create a first principles truth-seeking machine,
Yes.
then you would have to give it everything. Because if you didn't, I mean,
Cheese bias. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, sort of dissecting and like sifting through that what makes things objective as well.
Yeah,
Many
yeah.
biased things are about subjective things like morality,
Yep.
stuff like that. It is going to be based on their experiences and their emotions tied to the experience. So maybe, yes, getting an algorithm that sifts through all of that data, all of the studies, everything, and just looking at the raw data,
Yeah.
just the objective data. What is this actually?
and even where it's subjective, I mean, like a great historian will take a source from an overtly biased author, producer, whatever it is, and they will get right. I understand this source's provenance is tainted, deeply tainted. They are not an eyewitness. They're actually doctoring, a particular. I guess this is the idealist in me, but I would hope that at some point we're able to develop a system which actually helps pursue knowledge, pursue our curiosity, a tool to help us pursue our own curiosity. And like a historian is able to cut through the bias that you find evident in historical sources, I would hope that we are able to start developing systems capable of doing exactly the same, taking the data, just the raw data, and being able to decipher based on its, where it came from, who wrote it, when it happened, and the context, because we've given it everything.
For sure, yeah.
But
I
yeah,
agree.
that's the idealist in me, hoping that we can use that for.
Yeah. So to come up to the third question, I kind of want to refine it. So, how do we see the future of quantum tech affecting or intersecting with the current AI revolution? We can also talk about the current state of AI as well. So,
Cool.
Yeah. Regarding the quantum, I think you mentioned like first principle reasoning, and I think that's the way that we go. But at the same time, to make the AI to understand the physics and reality, we need to go to robotic industry as well. And that's why like Optimus or what Tesla is doing in long term is quite important as well. So that could be like the bridge between reality and the algorithm that we have. At the same time, I mean, the quantum, most people don't know that we have quantum machine learning algorithm, which is crazy. They think like quantum is only hardware. It's not. Like we have full scalar quantum computing now from IBM and Google. It's not practical because of the error correction problem. Qubits are kind of sensitive. But at the same time, I think we can use quantum machine learning as a bridge between AI and quantum. So we can go to like next level to just reach AGI or ASI.
For a simpleton like me, can you explain
Sorry.
how
Simpleton. I heard quantum 5 times a day. Please make like a video of like Arsha just saying quantum. And they're like AI.
my eyes just glaze over from
Actually,
lack
yeah.
of knowledge.
Yeah.
But I'm interested. Obviously, there's talk of quantum, and I have done a little bit of research. But very, very far from any level of competency in what this is. Very, very powerful, though, from what I have heard, in terms of its ability to solve very complicated.
In theory, yes.
In theory, okay.
Yes.
So, how do you? My main question is, what is it about quantum that you see providing artificial intelligence as it is now the computational power necessary for its evolution into kind of the next phase, into AGI or wherever we're going?
Yeah. So the way is like, because if we want to reach AGI, first of all, transformer is not going to be like the ideal model. even reinforcement learning is not ideal. It has a lot of problem regarding the architecture. If we want to do like physics based or like first principle reasoning, because I don't know if you've seen, but Google released something called word models that understand like the physics. So that's the next wave we're going through. So we're going from like only pattern recognition and data to kind of physics based algorithms in AI.
And what is it about our kind of simple computation, the binary computers as opposed to quantum computers? What is it about quantum that is so much better?
So in simple terms, we can do like, for classical, we have only 0 to 1. So we have two states. For quantum, we can do those states in parallel. So that's why we can do more computation. And that's why we can solve like bigger problems in like cryptography or something that we need like a huge amount of computation, or drug discovery.
So that's the main advantage, is just the sheer power that you get from having two variables.
Not even parallel, apparently, according to theory. Well, what I heard at the conference, it was literally like in every possible direction.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like
and they
exponential.
exist in like the states at the same time. I mean, the superposition that goes into these machines is fascinating.
So my question is, in terms of how it's set up at the moment, right? We've got quantum computers in main bases. How would that sort of spread to, in a sense, how AI is working at the moment? Is everyone going to access like main data centers, or?
I don't think the first application of quantum is going to be like B2C. It's going to be usually B2B for businesses or like big companies or corps, and then it's going to be B2G. I think even the first application would be like for governments.
I mean, defense is
the big one.
that is like number one. Like
There we go.
Oh my goodness.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, apparently, so I think Ismail would probably do a better explanation of encryption than me, but it's essentially like just a large number that's like sort of formulated, and then like in order to crack encryption, you need to like compute that large number, that key, and then but it will take so long to generate this large number or even find the right one. So it would take like the lifetime of the universe.
Yeah.
But
I've heard.
right. Maybe
But-
right. Let's stick to that. Okay?
Well, no, I mean, big numbers.
Big numbers, but with quantum computing,
computing,
it can do it in a finite time.
I think it was 256-bit encryption is the biggest one. And I think that's the one that, if we have quantum computers, the question arises, how do we do encryption now?
Yeah.
It's like, if it can crack it quick,
Then
what's the next step of encryption? Are we using quantum computers to encrypt something bigger? Or?
yeah, you don't really get bigger than infinite almost.
It's like the paradox.
No, and they were saying that 256 was meant to be like post quantum cryptography. Like they were saying that was meant to hold up. But I'm assuming, and I mean, this was back. I think they were saying that though when the largest chip out there was something like 1,000 qubits.
But everyone is skeptical. Like even with the AI, like I get the AI. Like if you asked me like 2 years ago, I would say AGI is here, we're dead. I say the same thing. I would say like AGI is here, humanity is just, we need to be dead. But now I say like,
It's looking like it's...
yeah.
I think as humans, we overestimate and like inflate a lot of things. But I do think that at the same time, we as people that are not developing it necessarily don't know the extent at which we're developing. So a lot of people online will say, if you've seen, I'm sure you've seen it, it's AI 2027, like 2 years we'll have...
I mean, when the leaders are saying like AGI is here, like Elon is saying AGI is here in the next year.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like the problem. Why he's saying it? Is it because he has... By the way, I'm an Elon fan. Elon, if you're watching this.
We'd love to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, we would love it.
Call me. Oh my God.
It would be really cool.
Yeah. But
yeah.
I mean, when they are saying something like that, like overhyping the technology, of course, we as someone who's looking up to those leaders, it's just a mislead.
Partially a psychological thing. It's like AGI is here. Oh yes, AGI is here.
Yeah.
It, in a sense, builds up the hype. But I also think that there isn't really that much of a hype. What I mean by that is, it's not the same as saying, for example, if we take, I don't know, some guy built a new product. Let's say I've got a new car. This car, that's it. It's like, can go 900 miles an hour straight, 60 seconds, right? And the guy goes, oh, the car's nearly ready. The car's nearly ready. It's like, well, okay. The car will be ready, like, soon.
Yeah.
I
I think they're doing it because they want it more fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like, oh, yes, the car's nearly ready. I still have time to invest. But also it's like, well, I know the car's coming. So it's not that I'm investing in something that's not going to work. Something will be there at the end anyway. It's like, if we stop AI development now, society still has a ton to adjust. Like, if this is like a hypothetical sense, right? OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, they all say, okay, we're going to stop development now. Like, we're done. We don't want to pursue this, which is very unlikely at the moment, right?
Yeah.
But even if they do that and they say, well, we have now our flagship model GPT-5, you're now still going to have the same problem. It's like, well, the people who are now using it and have developed to use it, they're going to get everything. Everyone who doesn't use it,
I mean,
they're
there
not
is
gonna get,
there is low return on investment on AI, but the reason they're doing it, like they're still funding it, is because they know if, like the one who gets the AGI probably has more power.
Yeah.
So it's like a power play now. It's not.
Well, it's an
about,
arms race.
It's like an arms race, yeah.
Let's call it as it is.
Yeah.
The country that hits AGI first will have an advantage, a serious military advantage.
It's like a nuclear. Yeah.
Absolutely. So even if it's not returning investment now, I mean, there's after Trump was elected, what was it? He announced Project Stargate.
500 billion.
Straight away, he had Larry Ellison up there, and like my thoughts on Oracle and Larry Ellison and his comments he's made at Davos, and these are not American first individuals, but their technologies will be used as weapons. Like that, I think at the end of the day, that it's a development.
Is it a
of
bad
weapon.
thing though? Should we use AI in defense or tech in defense in general?
it's inevitable.
We already are.
We are.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like-
look at Ukraine, for example. Ukraine is, if I'm not wrong, Ukraine is the sort of biggest sphere of military development. You've got like AI startups trying out new methods for military. You've got probably the first instance of drone swarming, which is AI hive mind sort of stuff, right? It's crazy that
Sci-fi's here now.
Sci-fi's here, right? But I also think that if we take some of the predictions made, we don't know. Like, I can't say it won't happen. I can't say it will happen. We literally do not know how fast it's gonna go.
Then what's our responsibility as people who are in tech? What should we do, like, to do something that benefits humanity in the long run? Because we have to, like, take a part, we have to hold ourselves accountable for this revolution. Otherwise, we don't have any control over it, and we're just some
slaves
wishful
to our
people.
own machine.
Yeah.
We are slaves. I mean, I want to hear Ismail's thoughts, but I've got a couple.
Go on. There you go.
Well, technology, it's normal for technology to be developed in wartime, right? We take weapons and we take, frankly, horrific studies and tests, and we then apply them to standard, more normal places. I think, I don't know what's coming next. I think that is very plain. But as we continue to move forward, we're going to start to see simpler AI. So when we hit AGI, I think we'll start seeing machine learning and large language models still being used, but now being used more broadly by the public. I think we'll start to see, you're seeing instances of people coding their own now. Like people who are taking great interest in how they would be able to create tools of similar power under their own roof. Obviously not similar power because they can't get the data. They can't get the energy infrastructure necessary to train these beasts. But you're seeing people actually start to take an individual interest. And I think as we move forward and time passes, I completely agree with what you said about the value that humans will have if they are able to use this, right? It's like having a toolbox, which is just a lot bigger than someone else who doesn't have that toolbox. Like, it's you in the same way that knowing how to hunt is a valuable skill, and knowing how to sterilize water in the event that you can't get clean water is a valuable skill. This is a bank of knowledge at your fingertips, at like perpetually.
Yeah.
So if you didn't know how to sterilize water, but you have figured out a way how like to build your own, and you have this repository of knowledge, then actually with that knowledge comes the power to sustain you, to sustain your family. So yeah, I think that similar to the way in which tech from weapons kind of filters down, and tech from the very border, the very edges of our technical capability now filters down eventually, we're going to start seeing widespread adoption and individual widespread adoption rather than just B2B and B2G, like B2C and actually just customers being competent. Because I think the both of you are right. I think that generally speaking, we don't have a competent public at the moment when it comes to AI.
That's such a sticky situation, and the older I get, I'm not very old, but
That's a good way to put it.
How old?
60, 68. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm 21.
I thought you were going to say 16. I was like, wow.
Oh, 16.
I'm a whiz, huh? No, so a lot of what I can see. So I come from a sports background, actually. For those that don't know, I played tennis at professional level, and traveling around the world, seeing organizations. It's the nature of the sport. I'm not going to hate the players, hate the game, hate the system, it's getting better now, but systems are incompetent, unfortunately. People are incompetent, sometimes not even at their own fault. It's just an incompetency, and everyone would benefit from more competency and more knowledge. So competency will come from the knowledge, it will come from maybe your own intelligence. So we do need to pump it out there, and it will just help everyone, like building your own businesses, being able to reply an email better, or just be a better person, help you reflect. Is just
sift through the noise. Like, and I know that we were talking about using it like not just as an administrative tool, but frankly, its use as an administrative tool is insane. Like being able to automate a diary, as an example, from an inbox, and have it as a personal assistant, where it's not a human following you around picking up the paper trail, but a device on your watch which is telling you, oh, don't forget.
Yeah, I was arguing with someone in my course in philosophy, because it's essentially the thinking degree, and we shouldn't use AI because it helps us think. And I was like, oh, come on, and it's. I was just going through the easiest thing, like, okay, I help a business do some admin. I've done this thing, and it took, let's say, an hour of solid focus. Yeah. If I didn't use AI, it would have taken days. Yeah. Like, actually. And that at those days, that time can be made up to doing something more valuable.
This is the thing. Like, it has the potential to bolster innovation insofar as it frees up humans to do what we're best at, which is abstract and reason. Like, we will innovate if we have the time and the resource, and in that way,
and creativity as well.
Sorry, Ismail, I cut you off.
That's all right. It's fine.
What were you gonna say?
There's two major points which I've sort of think it's important to address. Is number one, how and what to use AI for, which I think I was going on to before, right? I did some content on this online. I don't think majority of people, like I said at the start, are using it right. And I also think people don't have the mindset to use it right. That's the main problem. Not to say I use it right all the time. When I started in about year 10. That was GPT-2, GPT-3. And just to lay out the scenario, I have my history GCSE coming up. I've revised. I know my stuff, but there's a lot of questions that could come up. And I happened to find a chap that basically listed out all the questions that could ever come up. And at that time, it's like, well, I've used this tool once or twice. It looks pretty good. And I decided, well, at the time I was treating it as a human minded, right?
Yeah.
We were at that stage where didn't even know AI was a thing. It's like, well, it's subconsciously I'm just talking to another human, right? So I, explained this is how I want the structure, this is how I want this, whatever. Gave it all the questions, gave it all my info, and it wrote all my plans. And at that time I was shocked. I was like, it wrote me this could have taken, and that was it took me 14 hours
That
and a
was
half
the
break.
aha moment.
It was the moment, right? 14 hours it took me to write answers to about 3 pages of stacked questions, when that could have taken me months. And I was like, wow. And mind you, I went into those exams, 95% of those questions I had the answer to.
Big time.
And the 5% that I didn't, I could use the other answers because it gave me that sort of bank that I could use. And at that point I realized, well, this needs to be.
So what is the downside of using AI regarding the cognitive abilities? Because there was a study by MIT which was saying it lowers down the
IQ
cognitive.
level,
Yeah.
It's
Classic.
That is
Oh,
the exact sense of how we're using it. A lot of people use it wrong. And
To
I
choose
think
their coffee,
it's
latte or Americano, yeah.
You've got your choices in life. Are you living life or are you letting it live your life, right? You make your choices. Obviously, it's up to you how you make your choices. But if you have day-to-day minor choices, you do it, in my opinion. Like choosing a coffee. Maybe if you want to try something new, you can ask it, right? Because then it's sort of exploration. It's like you're going to read a book or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're choosing your daily coffee and you're asking it, oh, where do I go? Or what do I choose? Whatever. Just for the sake of it. It's like, well, what's the point? In the sake of large tasks, because I know there's a lot of controversy on this in terms of the vibe coding side. It's like, well, you can ask AI to build you an application, but does it really build you an application? Yes, kind of. But aside from that, because I'll touch on that later on.
Yeah.
In terms of the lifestyle side of it, you should be using it to automate those admin tasks, and you should be using it to streamline the others. Automate admin tasks, I mean, well, you've got to write up the exact same thing with different topics. Like if I had a topic to organize with something else, you can write a prompt to write the topic, give it everything, and it does it. Done. Right? If you have, for example, Memviz, my startup, right? The main problem I had, which I was sort of manually logging and scheduling, was revision.
Yeah.
Spaced repetition is complex. You know, you've got the days. Are you going to track 1, 3, 7, 14 days for 200 topics you have the spec for? No, I've tried. It doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
You eventually get to the point where your mind cannot, you cannot mentally manage those topics, even with a sheet, right?
So your argument is people don't have the right mindset, like the majority of them, to use AI. So how are we going to educate them? Like what's the role that government or maybe those people in charge have to take to educate people to go through this revolution?
I think people who are innovating at the moment should publicize information. Not how they're doing things necessarily, but they should make efforts to sort of, what's the word for it?
Transparency or...
Not transparency. They should make efforts to democratize the workflows and mindset. When I was building, before I was building the startup, I wasn't using AI for what I'm using it now because I did not see the capabilities of it. I was using it for, maybe writing stuff, refining stuff, sometimes maybe admin if I needed it. That was it. When I started building, obviously aside from the coding side of it, I was like, well, I've now learned different ways of prompt engineering, different ways of using what AI actually has access to, which turns out it has access to anything you want, really, right? Especially like cool with the MCPs and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I went into sort of the first month of uni, and I was like, well, I had like the mindset of, you look at what you have, what you need to do, see how much of it is required from you and what you want to do, what you want to learn and what you need to learn, and the rest you automate. So I go into a lecture.
Yeah.
What do I want to do? I want to absorb the information. I want to know exactly what it is. Do I want to build a database of the information? No. So I go into my lecture. I switch on my recording. I listen attentively, take notes when I need to. I get out. Can you please make me notes from this lecture? Done. Oh, now at that point, if you took me 2 years back, I would have written out flashcards manually. But now it's like, well, no, I'm not going to spend time with that. It's manual. Make me core definitions from these notes. And the notes are not that short. Sure, here's core definitions. Chuck it into rem notes. Rem note has spaced repetition. Done. That's handed off. Oh, now you may ask, well, you got the core definitions, you don't have the rest. Well, yeah, sure. So now I'll make another AI that tells me when to do the rest. By rest, I mean, I have this topic that I studied today. Tomorrow, I want to revise the topic, but I've done numerous topics before. Well, now, which I just finished yesterday, it's like, well, I want to review 3 topics today. Here's your 3 topics. Based on your memory, the difficulty you rated it, and when you did it. I don't need to take into account any of those factors anymore. And it's not beneficial for me to track those factors
You're
myself.
mostly mentioning it as like the automation side.
Yeah.
But can we use it for reasoning or?
On the reasoning side, I will say, if you take programming, when I'm doing coursework, when I'm doing my labs or whatnot,
Yeah.
I know it's a bit controversial in the uni sense because they say no AI, no this, right?
Yeah, that's
If
crazy.
I take my coursework, I'll be honest with you. If I need to write a program, I don't ask it to write a program. That's what most people would do. Write me the program. No, that's not like that. Yes, in the reference to the MIT sense,
Yeah.
it will decrease. Like you're not learning anything. What you should ask is, I've got this program. Help me brainstorm this program. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Think about this. You go and write your program. It may not work. You say, well, here's my program I wrote. Here's the errors of the program.
So just
Guide me.
engaging with it over and over
Yeah.
to get the results and learn through the project itself.
Yes.
I think the key is not abdicating your existence to the machine. Like, if you're doing research and you want to learn something, instead of being told to do an assignment and just getting the machine to do it and handing that in, you turn around and go, right, I've been asked for this, like you said, like help me brainstorm, or we've just done a poster, right?
Yeah.
I knew exactly what I wanted to do it on, and I knew what I wanted to discuss, but what I needed was the bank of academic articles that I could use to then research around the topic, because I had a framework, but I didn't have the granularity that I needed, and it was great because it went there and it saved me hours of flicking through library pages based on like kind of the keywords and the themes that I had put in the search engine. Like, the machine just went, oh, right, you want these particular studies on language's ability to manipulate and influence populations. Here are the papers which discuss that. So then I have a focused list of resource that I can then use to complete the task to the best of my ability, rather than just going, right, do it. Because otherwise you do just have a population which is abdicating its own existence to a machine for comfort, and I mean, that is going to affect.
Yeah, I think a good way to think about it is you stay as the agent. You are the agent. Don't replace yourself as the agent. And it comes back down to, okay, what does the agent do? It takes in information from the environment, from its senses, to help inform your decisions.
Yep.
And you pretty much have to prompt the LLM or whatever, prompt it to help you, to prompt it to prompt you back. So then you have to think about it, because it's about what you generate and produce. If it's writing the whole essay for you, if it's writing the whole line of code for you, then you're not generating anything. Then you're going to be brain dead.
You're handing off. Yeah.
And also, I will say, like, these generative AI models are generating data based off what we've already created. So not only is it inorganic data, it's kind of inauthentic too. And I know that some people would argue, oh, well, it is authentic because it's the first iteration of that exact bit of data.
Yeah.
And actually, there is an argument to be had that no data is actually authentic or completely organic, because everything that we do now is based off causal determinism, right? Everything that we do now is determined by what came before us.
Yeah.
But this idea, like, difference between when it comes to generating new data, it should be almost a matter of pride to us that we have created this, rather than our machine has done this for us.
Yeah.
I know this is a childish analogy to my mind, but like lab-grown meat or the real deal.
I would stress that you should use it as a companion rather than as the orchestrator. You have to use it to. It's like an extension of you. It's not. It's like if you've got a tool, you gotta hold it the right way.
Yeah.
Right. If you're holding it the wrong way,
The right way.
no,
Yeah.
like, yeah. It's like if you got a tool, you gotta hold it the right way.
I don't. Yeah.
That's a great one.
It's a personal assistant,
And
not a life support machine.
It's not. It's not. Oh, like there's a nail in the wall. Oh, go! Like hammer it in. It's like, well, I'm gonna hold the tool and hammer it in.
Yeah.
It's depending on the task, but the majority of tasks in people's lives, the AI is the assistant.
And on the ground of like people's IQ dropping or their attention spans being screwed over completely, let's start focusing on the real issue here, which is our overuse of phones, screen time, and really the importance of a detox, a dopamine detox, where these systems, which are built to be addictive because that's how they're sold, are now in use all day, every day, as incredibly useful and essential tools to modern life. But we're also not in control. Like the number of kids who have addictions now, which they really shouldn't. I mean, we've talked about the age of exposure, average age of exposure to indecent material online.
Yeah.
Is in America 8 years old.
That's crazy.
I thought it was 13.
I thought it was
No,
like double digits.
It is so, and like, don't get me wrong, you abdicate your ability to think and reason. And I mean, at the most base level, you come into university and you get it to do your course for you so that you can go out drinking and not
Go do the other
learn.
stuff. Yeah.
Like, obviously, you're wasting your mind, you're wasting your time. But in terms of like our own cognitive health, I think we do need to have, as a species, a good introspection on our relationship with technology now, because it's check your phone in the morning, and then listen to something over breakfast, and then you're working in front of it all day, and then lunch, you're winding down with some TikTok or Instagram, and then you're working with it in the afternoon, and then over dinner, if you're living with your family, I would hope there is like a phone abstinence at the table.
I would hope.
But even then, like the number of families I've interacted with, where it's just, and kids flicking through their Instagram, and then in the evenings, everyone's winding down in front of Netflix, and then their phones go to bed with them. And it's like, you have a dependency.
Yeah. I mean, regarding the AI side.
Sorry. I just got on it.
There was a bit of a...
Yeah.
It's relevant. It's
It's
relevant.
my own bugbear.
No, that's fine. Regarding the AI side, I think actually you should use AI you should try to use AI for everything. And if the task can be done using AI, it's not your problem. It's the task's problem. The task's level is low. I want to be honest. I'm talking to like, people in the university.
Quantum.
The referral code is incoming.
Use quantum. No, but the problem is with the task. Like if we can do like the poster, he mentioned the poster. If we can do the poster using AI, the problem is not us using AI. It's the task is like needs low cognitive abilities. You don't need like that much of creativity. So it's not.
Do you explain what what the poster is for the viewers?
It's like
A digital literacy.
Digital
you could
literacy.
pick any topic. It was just a list of different things, be
Yeah.
it data protection or critical thinking in the
or
digital age.
Excel
and-
training or like
Ah,
it's not
yeah.
our problem. It's the task's problem.
I'm interested though, because I don't necessarily disagree, but you and I know share a belief
Yeah.
that accountability and discipline are necessary
For
to
sure.
live a fulfilled life.
Definitely.
Now, if you're going through life and you're constantly testing these boundaries and you're constantly giving AI as much as you can, the concern then obviously is, what are you giving your brain to stimulate it? What are you actually focusing on doing? And I mean, there might be many solutions to this. This doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily undermine what you're saying, but I like, based on what you've said now, could you also comment on how you think we should be approaching our cognitive health and our neuroplasticity in such a way that we are using this fantastic tool for as much as we can without letting it at the same time completely take,
Yeah.
frankly, the gymnasium from like our minds'
minds.
day-to-day schedule?
In my opinion, it's not the tools problem or like the phone. Yes, of course, it's part of a business model. It's part of a marketing to make us addicted to this so we can actually pay them more. But the problem, if you find yourself getting addicted to like phone or any kind of tech, it's your problem.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
we don't disagree.
You gotta
Yeah.
solve it yourself, yeah.
No, agreed.
Not necessarily yourself,
even in
but,
that
yeah.
case. I mean, you haven't been curious enough to explore life, and you're
Yeah, okay.
addicted to some sort of tech that you could use to actually explore something.
Yeah.
So it's not like the tech problem. Like people say we have to avoid tech. I disagree. We have to actually use tech. But if you're finding yourself using too much technology for no reason, that's a problem you have to solve as a human being, like in your own life. It's like a personal issue.
No.
I think if we're talking about, I say just for like personal experience sense,
Yeah.
if we're talking about sort of the growing up stage, I'd say like up to 16,
Yeah.
I think the responsibility falls on the parents. It's a big problem.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
big problem is that the parents are not they don't.
No,
Put the
they're
control.
weak.
Of course. Yeah. If they teach their kids and they actually take the responsibility to teach them the life of discipline
Yeah,
and
yeah.
determination, then we wouldn't have any problem.
And shield them, because I do think that this is something that our society has completely forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That there is both data and influence that our kids should not be exposed to, because they are not ready for that information. They need a solid foundation. And when you put them in front of screens from whatever age, you are opening a world to them, a communal square, if
Yeah.
you will, that they have no control over. Instead of the communal square and the influence being the next door neighbor's kids and the kids who live down the street, who they're going over to play with, whose parents we know very well, who are kind of known variables. We know what they believe in. We know what they feed their kids, etc. Now you put your kid in front of the iPad, and frankly, a lot of kids are smart enough to get around parental controls.
Yeah.
So
I did.
These, well, there we are.
Yeah.
So these kids have unbridled access to the internet, which most adults struggle to discipline themselves with. Like this, it's dangerous for so many reasons, but also just in terms of like their brain is still forming.
Yeah.
You know, they advise that as under 16 you don't smoke marijuana or you don't take any psychoactive drugs because it's dangerous. These phones have an impact. They disrupt your endocrine system, right? They're producing hormones
Yeah.
that are unnatural. Like not unnatural hormones, they're being produced inside your body, but they're being produced in quantities that is unnatural. That are unnatural, sorry. And yeah, I think we do need to be considering like as you say, shielding. Like my parents did not give me a smartphone until I was 16.
The hot take is
And I was-
smartphone after 16.
I was so
I didn't have one
grateful.
until that,
No, I fought with them. I remember.
Yeah, I did as
my,
well,
My
yeah.
18th birthday, I wrote them a card and said,
Thanks.
I'm so grateful that you didn't give me a phone because I saw what it did to everyone else
Yeah.
and went,
Yeah.
oof, I dodged a bullet.
I'd say so I had a laptop since I was young, but I didn't get a phone until I was 16. And that's like I didn't get a SIM until I was like 17. But the phone sense is like, well, everyone has this phone. Like when I was younger, I was like, I want to get a
pressure.
phone. Yeah,
a lot
of pressure.
And I was literally, I would go outside, and the main problem was like, oh, I'll go with friends. I'll use someone's phone on the street to call my mom or dad because I did not have a phone.
So
And I was like,
so as parents, we shouldn't let kids to use AI like if they're under 16 or
We should
Or we
train
should.
them.
we should train them how to use AI. That's
they
my
have
side of it.
to.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I think we should be trained. We should be
If
arming
they
them
have
with the
to.
tools necessary. I say if they have to. I mean, it's a great tool. Don't get me wrong.
I think that's wrong though. We have to.
We have to what?
We have to like it should be compulsory to use AI even
Yeah.
if you're under 16.
Oh no, I don't. Well, I
think
don't
the-
disagree, but
Yeah, going on.
no, I just like the use then needs to be trained in the same way that like mathematics is trained.
Yeah.
It needs to be a super disciplined approach.
Should be
For
classes
sure,
for
yeah.
it. And I think that I've spoken to professors on this topic. The education system is lagging behind on this.
Oh,
Which is significant. And even in the age of technology with phones, instead of teaching people how to use phones,
No, I know.
they're just confiscate. It's still a problem, right? It's like I saw a lot of stuff on. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I saw a lot of stuff on. School principals, for example, posting, "Oh, we have a system where we take everyone's phone at the start of the day and give it back." It's like, sure, but if they didn't have a problem with the phone in the first place, you wouldn't need to do that.
Yeah.
So shouldn't we be giving sort of there should be technology awareness and training within the school system, because then you wouldn't have these side effect problems that we now have to supposedly make massive mitigations for.
Yeah.
I think a general awareness of where they come from would help. Like if you looked into the roots of Google and the funding behind it, if you looked at the funding that intelligence agencies have devoted to the development of technologies in your hand, I think you'd be a little more cautious. Like especially the idea of like Alexa. I have so many people have told me, "Oh, it's not listening until you say Alexa."
No, it turns out it is.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, how does it then hear you say Alexa? Like, come on,
Yeah, like-
come on.
It's the same thing with Siri. Like I do have times where I have it on if I need it like
Yeah, yeah.
straight off. But I know like if I have it on, like I know you're listening to me all the time.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, it's fine, whatever, I don't care. But at other times it's like, well, might have a different mood for it.
Daniel, I'm interested to hear your take on how we use technology in a safe, competent, and I hate to use this term because of its overtones, but sustainable way.
Yeah, I actually don't have a view. Sorry, guys.
That was honest.
So, like, I'll just reinforce. It is, again, I cannot stress this enough, just informing decisions. A lot of the marketing for, let's say, cigarettes, okay? I'm sure when we all went to school, cigarettes are bad. We're going to have literally a class that tells us why cigarettes are bad, what do, like, I don't know, I had this, like, what do, like, your lungs look like after a year of smoking cigarettes or 15 years. We had this, so then we can inform our own decisions. It's about making children independent, not too much, but get them to be as competent as they can. And if you can't, help them out. It's constant guidance. It's
Sponges.
be responsible. Discipline, big word. And now the difficult thing is, I would like to say, is back in, let's say, even 100 years ago, we would we would look up to our elders and be like, oh, how do I use this? How do I use this technology? But now the ancestors are, or the ancestors, the elderly are looking, or the people that are older than us are looking at us and be like, how do we use it? Like, like I know I have relatives that ask me, like, I'm hearing all about this AI boom, but I don't even know how to prompt it. Like, so they're gonna ask me about it. Yeah.
Sorry. I do think our generation, this is where I am very optimistic. I do think our generation is going to have a key role, because when we bring up our children, we will have seen the damage that it can do to our peers, and we will be more wary of it. And I think, like the previous generations, boomers and the generation that followed, were too institutionalized. I do think they relied too much on the government and the state providing them with the information that they needed. But I think that we are now at a place where we recognize that information is power. So it is not in a controlling body's interest to share with you all the information, which means you as a parent need to be really ensuring that your child is given the best information possible, right? So that they aren't being constantly tracked by their phone, that they know that actually that device is always listening to you. And therefore, you need to know, especially like this is very pertinent for people who go on to lead and have much higher profile roles. They need to know that if you need to have a private conversation that you don't want people to hear, you can't do that in front of a machine. The CIA has already made that very clear, that they have access to what you are saying wherever, whenever, as long as there is a device in range. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That in range of your conversation. And sometimes it doesn't even need to be in range, because realistically, we all know what can be achieved with modern tech. But
Yeah. Maybe I should move on to the second point I was going to say, which was how we should be building, which you asked me about.
Yeah.
As you were saying about sort of the people with high profile, everyone looks up to those who are building, right?
Yeah.
Those
are the leaders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look up to the leaders, right? And the main sort of principle that the leaders need to take into account is that we are following, right? We not necessarily, that's probably not a good way to put it, but if you're leading, you're the role model, right?
So you have influence.
So you have
people.
influence over the people, right? So you should be careful what exactly you're building and why, right? If you're asking capitalist Ismail, he would say, AI wave is coming. There's going to be massive batch of people who are going to make money. You should be building something with high impact, and you should be optimizing for sustainable usage in the sense of my business will succeed with AI and my business can proliferate without me. But on the other side, if you ask, say, philosophical religious Ismail, you'd say, well, and this is probably what I think this is what people should go into along with their capitalist side, is you should build for impact. You need to, you've got to positively, I take this like as a moral sense. It's like, I want to positively impact others and change the world. You've got to have that in mind. It's like positive impact. You don't, it's not just you. You can't be selfish with it. We are selfish as humans, but...
Are you good? I want to challenge you here.
Go on then.
You have a startup, okay?
Yeah.
I have a startup. Let's be honest. You want to pitch your idea to investors or people. Your MVP, I think, is ready, right?
Nearly. Yeah.
So you're going to be someone who has influence over people
for sure
in the future, for sure, right?
For sure.
Now I think you have enough, but I mean it's going to grow over time.
Yeah.
Are you going to say the same thing then? Because you are thinking about getting funding as well as hyping the technology. Are you actually going to say, yes, I'm a role model, I have to be careful with what I say? Or you take the business side, the capitalist Ismail, or like, what would be your priority? Because I know mine, but I want to know yours first.
So
As a startup founder.
as a startup founder,
Yes.
priority should be proliferation. Proliferation is not necessary. By proliferation, I mean my products, taking into account that I have good intentions, I should be aiming to make this bigger and better. And at times, it may be to the detriment of the product, right? So like I have my MVP. I know people want to use it. I've got like, people asking, yes, I want to use it. Sure.
Yeah.
I've got investors who say, sure, we want you to host it on the cloud because that's scalable.
Yeah.
It'll be like, okay, yeah. Then the question arises, okay, well, what about personal data?
Who are you going to listen to? The investors or the people who you have like influence on? The next generation?
I think you can do both.
You can.
The reason I say that is because if you've got the investors who want you to scale,
Yeah.
you can align the scaling with what exactly you want to do. I get it in the sense that if the investors say do something else,
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't do that. If the investor tells me to do something and they haven't invested, I don't want you as an investor.
As a founder, who's your boss?
I'm the boss.
No, you're not the boss.
Okay. I'm the
If
boss.
you are-
In my mind, I'm the boss. But actually, who's the
In
boss
reality,
is the people.
who's the boss? You're a startup founder. Who are you, like, who's your boss? Because everyone says, yes, entrepreneurs are independent. We're not. Who's your boss?
You're guided by the market you're in.
Your boss is your investors, your board members.
That depends if I'm bootstrapped or not, though.
Yeah, it depends. You can't have more than 50% of the shares. Like, you're not going to have that. You're going to dilute over time. Either you're Elon, yes, he had a lot of resources, so he doesn't care about anyone. But us, as startup founders, we have to listen to investors. Otherwise...
What I mean by that is you've got a product.
Yeah.
You've got a market. The market will only buy the product it wants. If you advertise a specific product and that's what the market
No,
wants.
I'm not talking about like the product quality. I'm
Yeah,
talking
sure,
about
sure.
the influence. Imagine you're the founder of XAI, okay?
Cool.
And now you know that the current architecture of AI is not at the point that AGI is here. But you
Yeah.
have to say AGI is going to be here because you need more funding. Otherwise, you can't compete with other big corps, right? So what do you say? You say, yeah, AGI is here. We're like doing a great job. Our ROI is enough for...
Oh, you mean in the sense of
Yes.
we're
You
building the product, but
exactly.
we what to tell them.
So
Okay.
for short term, you have to lie to people.
Ooh. Okay.
Otherwise, you'll not be able to have enough resources to reach the actual good work for humanity. So you have to make hard decisions as a founder, as a capitalist.
I'm getting what you mean by this.
Yes.
What you mean is I've got a product. I'll say something like, "Oh, this product is ready,"
Yes.
but it's not.
exactly.
In
So
that
you get
sense,
funding so you can actually make it ready.
Right.
So you're lying to people.
Who's not doing that already? No, on that side of it, it's like, yeah, okay. If you ask me on that side, okay, I'm the boss of my vision. That's it. I've got the vision for the
You're
product.
the boss of your vision, and for making it happen, you have to lie in short term to the public.
To the public,
That's inevitable.
in a
you
sense,
ha-
yeah, because
Yes.
you don't know what's possible, right?
Then we're
That's the
liars. Yes. Then
I
we're not
think-
transparent. And then people ask why founders are not transparent. Because we have investors. Because if we want to actually make something happen, we can say everything like...
You gotta hold on,
Yes.
just a second. Yeah.
Because in public's eyes, I don't want to say it like they are kind of naive, but we have to take different parameters at the same time to make a product ready, which is ultimately good for humanity. What do you think, Julian?
You've got to operate in the system that we've built. And we are fallible, broken beings.
Yeah.
So being a wholly honest businessman sounds like both difficult.
sound
I
like
mean,
a
it
business.
sounds like an impossibility.
Was a truly honest businessman will not succeed.
Yeah, something
if
like
that's it.
that.
But
Is it a good thing to advocate that we have to actually lie
We
to
don't- I don't
become
think we have to.
successful?
I'm not sure I
call
agree
it-
that about being the boss of your own vision is really important, and making sure if it is your business that it is your vision that guides the business
Yes.
forward. And we've spoken about this, but like the monopoly that Vanguard especially holds in the States of shareholders' votes through mutual ETF and index funds.
Yeah.
Because of the way the legislature is set up to give them those votes. Like they aren't like those aren't their shares because that's the money that they're investing on behalf of the American people. That's like the state pensions. But they are electing the board members.
Yeah.
And if you compromise your own business enough by selling shares away that you are no longer able to determine its direction, then at that point, you're right.
At that point, you're right.
Yeah, you're no longer the boss. But I think in terms of like getting something off the ground and lying, we've talked about the importance of like, and I hate that I'm referencing Kant here, but it's a great, it's a great.
What is Kant here?
Pardon?
What is Kant here?
No, Kant.
Oh, Kant. What's Kant?
Immanuel Kant, the German philosopher. He was
German.
German, yeah. So it's just an atheist's kind of golden rule, I guess. But what he said about the universality maxim, I think is a very important consideration because you can't lie and at the same time will that everyone else lies to you. Because at that point, there is nothing but a lie, and therefore it's like it kind of melds into the truth. So conceptually speaking, it's I think wrong, but in terms of hashing, I can't comment because I'm not a very astute businessman. I will be honest. I spend too much time thinking, and the world is far too black and white in my eyes.
Yeah.
Having said that, like I'm aware that there is a real world out there, and I think as far as you can as an owner and a founder, you act as transparently and as ethically as physically possible.
As possible,
and
yeah.
there are always going to be limitations because we are a flawed and failed species in many ways. There's a lot of beauty that comes of that, and we're not a failed species, but we're very flawed. We're very fallible.
For sure, yeah.
So it will happen, but I think it needs to be avoided at all costs. Like we need to approach life and business with a desire to provide an honest account of both ourselves and
So
whatever
being
it is that we're
transparent
leading.
is possible.
And I think transparency here, even when it's like, yeah, okay, we were perhaps a little bit too excited about this. We embellished the numbers a little bit,
Yeah.
but you turning around down the line and not perpetuating that lie.
Yeah.
I in terms of lying, I think in that sense it's also about perspective, right?
Yeah.
All right, so there's a bit of a hot take on it, but I think, like I was saying before, lying is about the perspective, right? You've got a business, you've got the pitch.
Yeah.
You don't know if it's necessarily possible in that sense. You don't know what the journey is going to be and what you end up going. A lot of startups pivot, right? But for example, in my sense, I've got 4 years of experience of manually doing this.
Yeah.
I want to automate it. I have the statistics. I say, look, it's all going to work because as founders, we're optimists, right?
For
we
sure,
have sort
yeah.
of the vision. I don't think that's lying.
No, you sell them the dream.
You sell
don't
them the dream.
them the difficulties.
It's not a lie because I
Yeah.
don't think it's a lie because it's a dream, right?
Yeah.
It's not. Maybe it's because I take lying in a negative sense, right? Maybe we should consider lying in both sense, right? Because is selling a dream lying or not? That's the question that sort of posed. In my sense, it's not. Because if I'm selling the dream, I've got investors and they're like, sure, yeah, we'll go for it. And then the community goes, oh yeah, we're waiting for it. And then I build the product and say, oh, it's nearly ready. But then maybe something I'm looking to test if it works, I'm not necessarily lying.
That's a good point, actually. Selling your dream is not a lie.
Selling a dream, I don't think selling a
Yeah.
dream is a lie. That's just how I
I'm
see
with
it.
I
Ismail
agree.
here. Like lie, that's a strong word.
Yeah,
Like
for me it
to
is.
lie, it's almost it can. I remember someone put it as like it's getting a reward that you sort of don't deserve. Like why else would you lie? Maybe because you're incapable of selling something. But if you could just sell it, maybe with absolute radical honesty, like just sell it if they like it, buy it. It's I think it's at a case of your competency in selling. Because if you can sell a great dream, honestly, people will buy it. You don't have to lie.
I think this is where it breaks down to having those great dreams, though. Because ultimately, like as entrepreneurs and as engineers, you are taking dreams and turning them into reality. So you've got to make sure that that dream is both impactful, as you say, that like is going to serve humanity.
Exactly.
But is also something beautiful, because people aren't going to want to buy something that is, I mean, other than, you know, the defense sector in the States. But people are, no, but generally speaking, like in the open market, people want to buy something that inspires. Like people, and this is why like there's so much money that goes into PR and advertising around how you can use language and images and color to stimulate someone's emotions, to put them in the right state to receive your message. Because what you're actually doing is you are putting them in your shoes. That's what you're doing. You're going, this is my vision, but not from your perspective. This is how I see it. Like,
yeah. Now I think I changed my perspective. It's not a lie. It's like selling a vision, and we're just some hypocrites who say we sell the vision, and it's not a lie. But yeah, that's
there
fine.
is a line.
There is a lie, like, but it's not like a.
I think if you
harmful lie.
You've got a dream. You've got a dream.
We call those
You've got a
white
community that shapes the dream. That's what you can ask for.
No, but seriously, yeah, I think that's a good take. We're selling the dream and we're trying to make it happen. That's what we do as founders.
And I think the key thing to keep that is you've got the people who are shaping it. Like, yeah, but 100%.
So the entrepreneurs and frankly, tech specialists in this region have spoken. Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel.
I'm interested to know your thoughts. I guess in exactly the same vein, how do founders and entrepreneurs, tech entrepreneurs, what's being termed the technocracy, how do we move forwards? How do they move forwards and lead competently and ethically towards a genuinely bright future?
That's a great question.
Wow. Well put. So I'm not quite the entrepreneur, but I'm definitely trying to see how philosophy and technology merge, because I see a great opportunity there. I remember I was asked like in front of a CEO and I was almost embarrassed because I didn't have the answer. Like, you're doing a philosophy degree, what job are you going to get? And that sort of, I could answer, but it was like, he just was not taking it, which is, which is fine. It's okay. So doing research and seeing how it is, if we could put it in AI terms, I was talking to a professor in the open hours, and I was explaining to him, like, imagine we have an AI company that just didn't have any ethicists or didn't have any people. All they had was technicians. That would be like, they have no idea where they're actually striving to, but they could build the best product ever. And he was like, I think you're describing OpenAI.
Wow. Sorry, Sam.
Yeah, sorry. We'll still get you on the pod.
I love you.
You should come on.
But so it seems a little wishy-washy, the whole term of aligning. I don't personally like it because it is thrown around, but there definitely needs to be some alignment. There needs to be some groundwork that needs to be covered, like what should the ideal transformer architecture look like, or instead of just pushing sheer horsepower and compute into it, we're not even changing the architecture. We're not even thinking, oh, what is intelligence or whatever. It's just trying to cram as much like force into it.
So let's maybe shift from alignment, because that I think always necessitates a certain external grouping, tying together of industry. Let's reframe it as leadership. So like what you're talking about is leadership of tech from not just a technologist stand, but also from more of the, I guess, I hate to say philosophical, because I think that's almost downplaying it. More of a holistic leadership principle, maybe.
Well,
You mentioned OpenAI. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
do you think OpenAI is not actually thinking
Yeah,
about
it's-
ethics?
No, not really, to be honest. Like, of course they have to now. Of course they will, and they have.
Why?
But
Why do you should think about ethics?
so let's say we have this tool that could do almost anything that we want, and the person doesn't really know. I mean, it's like they just stumble along. They do what is like pleasurable to them, whatever. Like the tool would just carry that out.
Yeah.
The tool would just be,
Yeah.
sure, let's do that, whatever. There aren't any boundaries at all. And let's say I like to tell people that imagine we have like people, really clever people on a team that build a tool, and you have one guy or girl, one person that has an extremely high IQ or extremely smart, and they can just take that tool and just use it. What can we do about it if that person is or another team is so much more cleverer than the person than the people who built it, and they didn't even think about ethics or other possibilities?
Yeah, and I mean that raises the question of
Leadership,
leadership and the use of any technology as either a weapon or like a tool for innovation or a tool for prosperity.
It's an enhancement. I like to think about technology being an extension or a reflection of the human. That's what it should be, and the leader should be guiding the team towards a sort of ideal. Plato
Yeah, for
talks
sure.
about the ideal, and I think it's so relevant. It's so relevant. We should take a picture or imagine, what does happiness really look like? Okay, maybe we can't quantify the exact form of happiness, but at least if we can come up with the best idea and everyone agrees on it, then let's go for it. Let's build a tool that orients us towards this form of happiness.
Yeah, and make it high level enough that you can actually get some form of fairly general agreement,
Yeah.
because it's in the granularities that you always get disagreement, and that's healthy and that's important.
Yeah.
But if you turn around and say, right, to a business, because obviously I'm not saying you you impose your will on a populace, but if you turn around to the business that you've founded and you say, right, this is my dream, this is our goal, and you give them a high level review. You say, I'm looking to create this product to fix this problem and do these things really well. This is something that they can get behind. And like the constant iteration of the product.
That's what it'll be. Constant. Just literally like carry on. Just okay. The team is going to this route, and then they're building the product really, really well. But then no, the leader says no, come back here.
Yeah,
come
yeah.
back here. This is the vision. It's all the vision. Like you said,
100%.
you would take the vision over the intelligence sometimes.
Yeah.
Like vision. Okay, we're slightly dropping out. Okay, no, let's carry on. Let's keep going. And it's going to be constant every single day. This is what meetings are going to be for.
Yeah.
But actually, what's the solution? Because there's a trust problem here as well. Like companies don't trust the other parties, and of course, there's a race.
I mean, there's a good reason for the lack of trust.
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk about other parties, I'm assuming you mean both the customer base and shareholders.
Yeah.
And then also the legislators that provide regulation. I mean, of course, there's a lack of trust. This is business in the context of a very, very flawed system at the moment.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like business in general. You buy something, you sell it for more.
yeah, exactly.
You have the
Talking-
trust that they don't. It's not that you have the trust. They sell it to you for that price, right? So
Yeah.
you have the trust that what you're getting is worth that price.
Yeah.
I'd say, I'd say the trust sort of thing is inherent in how people view what you're doing, and how they view you as a person.
Well, let's break that down further. What do you mean by lack of trust in other parties?
Yeah.
Like,
So
who are these parties?
Yeah, not just like the parties you mentioned, but the lack of trust among like founders and companies as well.
Within a company.
Yes, like not within a company,
Oh,
like
okay.
within like the whole race. So we have Google, we have OpenAI, we have XAI. XAI is saying, okay, I don't trust OpenAI. OpenAI is saying, okay, I don't trust Google. and it's just like the mistrust is just making them to just continue the race without thinking about the ethics.
How about you mentioned the word holistic? The reason why it's so hard, I think I'm finding a hard time answering the question, because when you take things into a holistic approach, there are so many things to take into account. The world's psychology, the world's health, you say about Google and Meta and OpenAI. No, we can take this to Trump. We could take this to the president of Pakistan, whatever. Like, there's so many factors to put in. It's utter chaos. And to align, there I go again, to literally align everything is going to be so hard. You mentioned that it's, how are we going to align an AI when we can't even align ourselves? It's nuts. So a lot, maybe this comes back to, like, it's almost a theme now, information and inform. And I hope everyone has maybe a common sense of morality. Maybe there are debates on that, but we could at least come into like a single agreement.
I'm not too sure if you have to end on that note.
Yeah, I think we can do like a
We can
wrap
start
up.
off with this next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the discussion of leadership and how we move forward as a species is super fascinating. And we've started the discussion, but yeah, I was just about to ask you a question.
Okay. Go on.
No. I mean, if we have spent definitely the time, but
I think we can start off with it next time.
I think that's,
for sure.
a good
That's
idea.
That's a great
yeah,
question.
especially when you mentioned it. There's so many avenues we can go down with. I mean, just the philosophy side, the technical side of how the company should be run, because they are, forget about the ethics. They're just technical problems. They're everything. So
the business
leadership.
side as well.
I guess the question really is like almost the golden road. Like, how do you lead? Because I mean, that is a question that is pertinent to a father of a family, and it's a question that's pertinent to the leader of a nation
and to an individual.
How do you lead your own? How do you clean your own room? How do you get stuff in line? And I'm
questions.
super interested to know like about on the alignment front and leadership, how we achieve that.
We can definitely start
off
with
that.
this one. And
that's good.
any final words?
I would jump at it right now, but I'm not too sure we have enough.
No. That's cool.
Is it still on?
Yeah. Final words.
Final words.
Final
from
words.
This, any takeaway? 20 seconds for each person.
20 seconds. I think for the most part, it's just about everyone taking responsibility for the new race we're in, and grasping the opportunity. We all have the capability to it. It's just about doing it.
Yeah. I would have to reiterate the same. I was going to say exactly that. This idea of accountability and responsibility. I think really it comes down to the dangers are abdicating your own existence to a machine. Let's use it for what it's good for. And let's also not forget that we have value to bring to the table.
Yeah.
I've said it like 3 times or more. We've said it. Inform yourself. The best thing I've done for myself is to inform my decisions. And I can't stress it enough.
Whether you're a founder or a leader, hold yourself accountable. Also, to the society, don't hinder the innovation with skeptical views and conspiracy theories. We have to move on and be optimistic. At the same time, we have to collaborate with governments, and we can discuss this in the next
Let's do it.
episode for sure. Thank you for listening.
We'll see you again next time.
Yeah, see you later.
Cool.